Thanks for watching Paradise Press JA. Though Jamaica has earned a reputation for being a very homophobic country for many years, slowly LGBTQ Jamaicans are making progress despite the hatred we endure from our community. Though I was raised in America and Canada, I was also raised in an abusive and homophobic Jamaican family environment, so I've always had a vested interest in Jamaica becoming a more tolerant society and culture. I also love music, theater, movies, and the arts as how many of us LGBTQ people have been able to tell our stories and celebrate our identities despite the negative stories others have told about us. We've had many LGBT Jamaicans put out incredible work in media and pop culture in 2024, and since I've already posted a list of 5 gay Jamaican pop culture moments this year, you can find on the Paradise Press and Caribbean playlists, here's 5 more gay pop culture moments for gay Jamaicans in 2024. Brautopsy. If you're a book reader, you may be surprised that there are many books by LGBT Jamaican authors and allies that have been released over the years, and one of the latest additions to the LGBT Jamaican book collection is Brautopsy, released in January of 2024. Jamaican and Canadian author Christina Cook was featured in Vogue magazine, being interviewed about her critically acclaimed new book about growing up as Jamaicans in the diaspora and going back home to reclaim our culture and reconnect with family despite our queer identity. The book synopsis reads, Akua is returning home to Jamaica for the first time in 10 years. Her younger brother has died suddenly, and Akua hopes to reconnect with her estranged older sister, Tamika. Over 3 fateful weeks, the sisters visit significant places from their childhood where Akua spreads her brother's ashes, but time spent with Tamika only seems to make apparent how different they are and how alone Akua feels. Then Akua meets Jada, a brash stripper who reveals a different side of Kingston. As the two women grow closer, Akua is forced to confront the difficult reality of being gay in a deeply religious family and what it means to be a gay woman in Jamaica. Her trip comes to a frenzied and dangerous end, but not without a glimmer of hope of how to be at peace with her sister and herself. A Mother Apart. Critically acclaimed lesbian Jamaican author, poet, and actor Stacey Ann Chin released yet another insightful project to the media, a documentary about her journey of motherhood in the 2024 film entitled A Mother Apart. Though Chin is known for her incredible books, including one of my favorite autobiographies, The Other Side of Paradise, where she talks about her rough upbringing and coming out story in Jamaica, in the documentary A Mother Apart, Stacey Ann Chin highlights her relationship with her daughter and deciding to raise her for a time in Jamaica, the country that caused her to leave because of her gay identity so many years ago. In the documentary, Chin talks about being left by her birth mother and having a relatively unstable childhood in Jamaica, but also talks about how this initial lack of a relationship may affect her relationship with her daughter she wanted to have and raise. This is a movie I'd love to see soon because one story we have yet to see as much in the media is LGBT Jamaicans raising and having kids, and what that may look like for us. Many LGBTQ people feel that they have to leave Jamaica in order to live full lives, get married and raise kids, but yet and still our stories and families are still tied to where we come from. And how does that affect the ways we move forward with creating our own families and teaching the next generation about what it means to be Jamaican despite being ostracized by our community? Despite the negativity from homophobic Jamaicans, more and more openly gay Jamaicans will eventually have children in the future, and films like this will give gay Jamaican parents some counsel on how to be the best parents we can be. Daltons Dream. I recently had the privilege of going to see this documentary, Dalton's Dream, at the Inside Out Film Festival here in Toronto, one of the premier LGBTQ film festivals in Canada. I've been following Dalton Harris's career in music and entertainment ever since he came to notoriety in the UK and the US by becoming a standout vocalist and winner of the 15th season of the X Factor UK in 2018. This film and documentary explores and depicts how Dalton was dealing with the backlash of being shunned by his Jamaican fans after winning X Factor and coming out as part of the LGBT community soon after. There were so many touching moments in this film, especially when Dalton goes back home to Jamaica and connects with some of the loved ones who raised him. Dalton was never shy about sharing his abusive upbringing from his birth family, and the documentary goes into much more detail about the terrible things he endured as a child in his large working-class family. Luckily, he was taken in by a family in his later years who looked out for him and encouraged him to pursue his musical talents. And now, after coming out and dropping this documentary, Dalton has been acting in musicals and will likely be releasing more projects in 2025. Considering there are not as many gay men in music who are icons from Jamaica, I'm so proud that Dalton has stood his ground and told his inspiring story over the years, and I hope he drops more music in the future. Get Millie Black. Marlon James is a critically acclaimed gay Jamaican author who has several acclaimed books under his belt that features standout gay, Jamaican, and African characters, but we are finally seeing his magic hit the TV screen for the first time. And what's incredible about this new TV series is that it features LGBTQ Jamaican actors and stories from the Gully Queens, Jamaica's homeless LGBTQ youth. Though the show is considered a British series, much of the series takes place in Jamaica, and this is a clearly properly budgeted series because the trailer is gorgeous, action-packed, and captivating. British Jamaican actor Tamara Lawrence stars as Millie Black, a British and Jamaican detective who is working out a string of disappearances of young girls in Jamaica. But I'm interested to see how this will tie into the Gully Queens. From the little reading I've done online, Millie Black has left her police career in the UK and resettled in Jamaica to connect with her estranged family, but surprisingly gets caught up in a national scandal when the disappearance of the young girls is connected to a wealthy Jamaican family in Kingston, Jamaica's capital. I saw a great interview on the Jamaican YouTube channel, The Dutty Berry Show, that featured several cast and crew members from Jamaica celebrating their work in this groundbreaking TV series, and how they worked on many projects but have yet to see a cast and crew filled with this many Jamaican creatives. And the fact that a gay Jamaican writer is behind such a monumental project speaks volumes to our potential as gay Jamaican artists and creators. Sade's trans anthem, Young Lion. Sade is a Nigerian and British international music sensation who recently ended her 6-year-long musical hiatus to create and release a song dedicated to her son, who recently came out and transitioned a few years ago. The reason this is significant is not just because Sade is a music superstar, it's because Sade is Nigerian and her son, Isaac's father, is Jamaican, two cultures who have a history of being very anti-LGBTQ. The song goes more in depth into Sade's reaction to her son transitioning, including her initial negative reaction and her learning to apologize and embrace him. The song has poignant lyrics and a very somber vibe in the slow-paced progression. In the lyrics, Sade is admitting she should have been more aware of her son's feelings and the loneliness he had to endure to walk in his truth as a trans person in a very cruel world. Young man, it's been so heavy for you. You must have felt so alone. The anguish and pain I should have known was such a heavy burden you had to carry all on your own. Forgive me, son, I should have known. Sade's vocals are piercing and healing as ever, and the production on this regal but emotional song is fantastic. And by the end of the song, she's also praising her son for his journey of strength, finding himself and claiming his true identity. I love that even in the title, Young Lion, Sade is acknowledging her son's African and Jamaican roots.